Hey guys, I'm AnnieChie's and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is that time of year again. Usually following my Q&A comes my year in review for whatever year it is, where I go through month by month everything that happened to me regarding the cosplay universe in some way. So this year obviously was a lot busier than the past 2 year in reviews because obviously conventions are back, we're doing things again, and while this is gonna start slow, this year's gonna pick up very fast. So without getting into too much, I think let's just get right into it. To start off, January. This month was actually the 1 year anniversary of starting my Snow White cosplay, and January is usually a bit of a quieter month for me, and I spent a lot of time continuing to work on Snow White. That's about it. February and March I'm gonna lump together, which always seems to be the case, but again, I was working on Snow White and finished it in February, and I started working on my WCS project at this time as well. Moving into April, first convention of the year and since the pandemic, Cape, Cornwall area pop event, which I had a really lovely time because I got to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a really long time. I was a cosplay guest with Solette Cosplay as part of the Cornwall cosplayers. We finally got to wear Samus and Rosalina together, which was really exciting. We had been meaning to do this for forever, ever since we both really had these cosplays. Not to mention, I also got to wear Ravio with the rest of my Link Between Worlds peoples. So Bandit Spurs as Hilda, Meg Wynn as Zelda, and MDA cosplay as Link. So that was a really fun shoot. We got some extremely colorful pictures, and the photos got a 2-page spread in the Nintendo issue of Cosplay Realm magazine, which was awesome. Not to mention, the photo shoot that we did with Solette Cosplay also made it into the magazine as well. So Rosalina and Samus and the Link Between Worlds group all made it in there, all photographed by Open Shutter Photography. Next up is May, which was FanaticCon Brockville, which I was brought in as a judge for the cosplay contest, but that was really special. We got to give judges picks and got to see some lovely people. Again, some I hadn't seen in a really long time. This was also the debut of my Princess Zelda that I made during the initial pandemic lockdowns, and this month I also got to photo shoot debut my Snow White cosplay, wear it all for the first time, and do a lovely photo shoot with Jason Setnick Photography in Cornwall. It was pretty special to finally put it all together and finally have photos to share with everyone after over a year's worth of work on one costume. In June, my birthday month, came one of my favorite events of the year, YetiCon. YetiCon was so much fun, and again, there was a lot of people I hadn't gotten to see at some of the other events so far that I finally got to see after not seeing them during the entire pandemic. This is also when I finally got to debut Susie Q and Joseph Joestar with my boyfriend, and we got to wear them together, and people had some really great reactions to seeing the two of us together. And we also got to do a really lovely shoot with Open Shutter Photography, and I'll treasure those photos forever. I also brought my young Zelda cosplay with me and finally got to wear her alongside Zelda Momo's awesome young Link cosplay, and we got some great reactions from other people, an impromptu photo shoot with our friend Julian, a really lovely time, and just, you know, one of those duos that we wanted to get really bad. And I ran another panel at this one, which was my pattern drafting for cosplay, an updated version of the panel. I really love doing this panel and hope to do it again in the future. Now into July. Early on in July, I hosted a very small Cornwall cosplay in the park event with some of the local cosplay community, which was really lovely. I wish I had more time to put into it this time around, but obviously I was really busy with other things going on, not just in my life, but obviously in cosplay. The turnout that we had was just the loveliest people. Everyone was being so friendly, so welcoming. There were people who were newer to the community, people whose kids were interested, and it was just a really lovely time. And after the cosplay in the park, it was time for Anime North, one of the big cons of the year. So at this con, I got to wear Lolita fashion for the first time at a convention with some of my friends with Symphony and Silk and Arctic Werewolf cosplay. I got a lot of compliments on my coordinate, which made me really happy. And this was also the convention debut of Snow White. I also got to compete in the masquerade, and this was the first masquerade in a really long time. It just kind of felt amazing to be backstage with so many awesome people. Lots of them were my friends. Some of my friends were also in the judging room. Like, it was just a really lovely experience. And the awesome cherry on top was I ended up placing 2 awards in the masquerade in the Masters division. I got the Best Movie Magic for my presentation, and I also got Best in Class Workmanship in the Masters division as well. And obviously in this time in between events and such, I was working in secret with Meg Wynn Cosplay on a World Cosplay Summit project. At this point, we were closing in on finishing and finalizing everything, going through rehearsals and getting that skit ironed out and getting everything on our costumes finished. And then there was August, with the very first weekend being the time where Meg Wynn Cosplay and I got to present that culmination of everything we had been working on together for the World Cosplay Summit Canadian preliminaries at a Tackathon. This weekend was absolutely amazing. We had some really good times doing rehearsals. We had fun with our friends. The backstage process and everything, green room time with the other teams was just lovely. The organizers are lovely and amazing people and just fun to be around, as with the other teams. Our presentation went really, really well. You know, nothing fell apart or anything. You know, everyone's worst nightmares falling off the stage, none of that happened. And there were some really good reactions to our performance, and I felt good doing the performance. I didn't have a single nerve in my body left at that point. And before I knew it, suddenly they were announcing Team Canada 2023, and Megwin and I happened to win the title of World Cosplay Summit Team Canada for 2023, and one of my major cosplay dreams came true just like that. Obviously, this was a major highlight of the year for me. To say I was shocked and surprised is an understatement. And while not cosplay related, another major highlight of August 2022, Sam and I got a house. We didn't see that one coming. 2 weeks after WCS, and an offer we put on a house got accepted after trying to get a house for a really long time. So that definitely counts here, because of course that means in September we moved in. I got to organize and set up a brand new sewing room. I love my new sewing room. It's definitely gotten a lot of use, and my cats really like to try to knock everything off shelves. I love my sewing room. It's a really lovely creative space for me. And also in September was Ottawa Comic-Con, and my friends and I were all selected to judge the masquerade, which was really cool. I have judged a few ICG masquerades in the past, but this is my first time judging the Ottawa Comic-Con one, which is a really cool full circle moment, because it was actually my first masquerade back in 2014. So it was really kind of cool that now I'm getting to judge the same one years later that I started at. A highlight of Ottawa Comic Con was actually meeting Blanche Hyrule, a user on Instagram and also has a YouTube channel. They're a big fan of Ravio, and I just happened to have been wearing my Ravio cosplay for judging, and she was wearing her Ravio cosplay. A Ravio cosplay she made and used some techniques from my Ravio making of video to actually figure out how to make some of hers. So she had actually watched my video and it helped her figure out how to make her cosplay, and then I got to meet her and we're both dressed as Ravio in that moment. That was really cool. And since then, I've also found out a few other people have problem solved their Ravio cosplays by watching my video, and that makes me really happy, especially because Ravio is one of my go-to comfy costumes now. So yeah, that was really special to me and definitely a big highlight for me at Ottawa Comic Con. Another major highlight was that myself and my friend Little Al and our friend the Shoulder Cat, which is the masquerade director and the masquerade MC respectively, got to run a panel on how the inner workings of the masquerade works, how the points work, how the judging works, all of that awesome stuff. That was really fun. I really like doing panels, so anytime I get to do a panel on a subject I'm passionate about, I get really excited. And in October, myself and Megwin cosplay as Team Annie were official guests for Comic-Cons du Quebec in Quebec City, which was really an amazing experience. We had a booth, which I've shown a lot in our vlog from that video. We had a panel on the big stage, which was kind of ironic because we had already said that we were going to be doing our panel on performance and cosplay, so we really got to demonstrate using the stage on a proper stage, which was amazing. We did get to guest judge and pick some favorite entries to give special awards to, which was really special, and it was just a lot of fun hanging out with the other judges as well. Now to November, the only cosplay thing of note is actually the little trip that I also vlogged on the channel, which is the fabric shopping trip to Montreal with Megwin Cosplay, Symphony & Silk, and Arctic Werewolf Cosplay, where we went shopping, for Megwin and I at least, for our WCS project updates, as well as the new projects that we'll be making for costumes to bring with us to Japan next summer. We ordered notions and stuff for the stuff that we couldn't get in the stores in this month as well, and we started working on the updates for our championship cosplays as well, while waiting for other things to come in for the Love Live, Rico, and Yo cosplays. And that brings us right into December, where it's been mostly prepping for the holidays and working on updating the championship cosplays. I will be doing an entire vlog series on the updating of the championship cosplays, at least on my end, the Monica cosplay. I'm really excited about it because so far the progress has been going very well, and I'm really excited about the updates so far. So that brings us to the end of the video, and of course the yearly stats. And this year they're definitely far more interesting than some of the past few years of the pandemic. So in 2022, I finished 2 cosplays, Snow White and Monica. I debuted 6 costumes, many of which were made during pandemic times and haven't been able to wear to a convention yet. I attended 7 conventions. I hosted 1 cosplay picnic event. I hosted or co-hosted 4 panels, won 3 awards, and of course had 1 major cosplay dream come true, which is winning the World Cosplay Summit Canadian preliminaries to be Team Canada with Megwin Cosplay. To say this is quite a busy way to get back into conventions and cosplay again more regularly after a world pandemic is an understatement. This was a really busy year, but in like the best way possible. I am extremely excited to see what 2023 will bring, but I'd really like to thank you guys all for sticking around with me all this time. If you want to go see the other annual Q&As and annual cosplay year in reviews, they are all in a playlist now on my channel, so you can kind of watch them and watch my month by month play by for the past few years if you want to that badly. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.